Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our reminders of Ramadan. And today I want to remind you about the Laylatul Qadr and the importance of the prayer, the night prayer during the month of Ramadan. My focus is how do you get benefit of the prayer, how we can improve the prayer so that we can take the most benefit out of it. And that means is the admission that the prayer is a path that you can make it better and better and better over time. And we want to look into what are the landmarks of this advancement and what are the benefits of this advancement. And in understanding how do we benefit from it, then we might be able to understand how we can pray better. And the use of the heart, but also the movements of the body in positions that they highlight our submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reflection is in order to understand how to improve it, and how to improve it requires an understanding of what are the landmarks and what are the benefits of the prayer. Since we want to spend the nights in prayer, we want to at the same time learn how to make it better for us, how to make that act of worship be a path of improvement in which we worship better in as much as we understand what it involves. If we look at why this Laylatul Qadr is important, is by what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says is Hayrun min alfi shahr. The prayer that we maintain during this day is better than 1,000 months of prayer. Yet this increase in benefits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us is it depends also on the quality of our prayer. We will benefit from it more if we understand what the benefits are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need our prayer. We don't make him bigger because we pray. The benefits of the prayer is to ourselves. We get to know, we understand, we acquire knowledge of Allah, and that transforms our way of life. Transforming by changing the focus of the meaning, the source of the meaning. For the majority of the people living in the world is pure sensory. So the things are defined by how each individual understands, feels, sense the world. And then all these things is linked up by narratives that have to do with society, with history, with family. And then we create a picture of the world which is false. It's an illusion. Because we are not the source of the world, of the meaning of the world. Man doesn't have the attributes or the capacity or the intellect to understand this world. So we make up a version of the world which is based on our needs. The need is the fundamental factor that clouds our understanding, creates turbulency in our understanding of the world. The more we need something, the more that thing becomes itself an instrument of giving meaning to other things. Everything pointing to the things that you need. Everything pointing to the things that you love. And so is with fear. The things that we fear, they alter the meaning of everything that we do and the meaning of the things around us. All these things are instruments of alteration, and all on the commonality of common discourse and how the people live. This is how we create our world. When you love Allah, which is the purpose of worshipping, when we place Allah above all our needs and we truly worship with sincerity, then He becomes the source of meaning. It's no longer the opinion that we have of ourselves that matters, but it's the opinion He has on ourselves that matters, and that changes everything. In as much as you need Allah, you stop needing the things of this world, and in as much as you stop needing the things of this world, then the things start changing. All that reflects in the way you act. The way that you act, this is where the benefit is. Ultimately, it's all about cognition. The matters of the heart, they are not ideas. The matters of the heart, they are actions. It changes, it's knowledge, and knowledge is action. Knowledge without action is not knowledge. So based on this, the action, what we do with our hands and our knees and our limbs, that is where the test is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to test us on the basis of the things that we have done, not on the ideas that we have in our head. It's what have you done with your life? What have you done with your limbs? How you have conducted your life. So if this is where the benefit ends, if you reverse this process, then you understand that in order to make your prayer sincere, then you have to put everything at stake. You have to worship indeed with your body and with your soul, with your actions. When you worship, you put at stake how you act. When you put at stake how you live in the prayer, then the meaning of the prayer changes. The prayer becomes different. If you put everything in the prayer, if you put at stake your life when you pray, then the benefits increase. They increase and they change the way you understand what is possible and what is not possible. It increases your basira. The basira is the outcome of the heart, just in as much as opinions is the outcome of the brain. Opinions, ideas, that's what the brain can produce. But the heart produces basira, vision, and these are your possibilities of being. It changes the way in which you understand what can you do. And by chasing in those possibilities, you change the way in which you act. Things that they were unthinkable suddenly become possible. Then you can see your obligations with Allah with clarity, to the extent that if you pursue, you will see that what Allah has commanded us is within the reach of your hand. That everything is within the reach of your hand. By understanding that everything is within the reach of your hand is a horizon upon which you can pray. To seek that understanding. To seek the understanding that everything, all the means in order to achieve what Allah has asked you to do are within the reach of your hand. And how do you pray with that as a horizon? Because you put everything in the prayer. Because when you pray, you truly submit. It's not just a ritual, it's not just movements, it's not something you have to do, but it's an intimate moment in which you surrender completely in the absolute, complete act of submission, which is the prayer, and you put everything behind. When you start doing the prayer like this, then you will know immediately that the things have changed. That this is prayer of a different kind. And this prayer of different kind brings about different results. That this has nothing to do with just rituals. This is a true encounter of you with your Lord. And it changes you and overwhelms you. Because when you pray in this way, the presence of Allah becomes patent, clear. Ihsan, prayers if you see Allah, even though you cannot see Him, but you know He's watching you. That switch, in which you are not the observer of the world, but you are the one being observed, that fundamental change in perspective, that is wisdom. When you go out into the world then, and you understand that you are under the gaze of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He has power over everything, then submitting to Him, obeying His commands, loving obeying His commands, they become easy. Then you can see. And when you can see, you can act. And you can act, you can lead. For the many who believe that what Allah has commanded is impossible, because they see still the barriers to be much more powerful than Allah Himself. But the enemies of Islam don't have more power, don't have power at all. They're a ruin. The things that the religion of today, which, as I've told you many times, is capitalism, because it's law. Islam is not law. Islam has been removed from its legal capacity, has become just a system of morality. And the people have endured and they have normalized the situation, but it cannot be normalized. The aspiration of the Muslims is to restore the Sharia and eliminate the constitutions, the capitalist constitutions that upheld central banks and paper money and national debt in all Muslim countries. This is not our deen. Our deen is the deen of Allah. This month of Ramadan is a month for you to open, to see, to desire these things that for most people they are difficult to see, and they get paralyzed because they attribute power to things that they don't have power. But if you understand, if you submit, if you eliminate your powers, then you will borrow His. Tawakkul, by relying upon Allah, you will be able to see. And you will be able to see that what Allah has commanded to you is within your reach. Because all the means you need in order to fulfill what Allah has obliged you to do are within the reach of your hands. With that as a horizon and your heart involved in the prayer, I promise to you that he who prays in these conditions will benefit. And taking for granted that during this month of Ramadan, especially these last 10 days, your prayers will be multiplied in value. I would say this is the best time of the year in these less than days and Ramadan, where you should devote yourself to the prayer like you have never done before. Open your heart, throw yourself in with everything, submit, truly submit. Not only in movements of the body, but in the actions that come. Surrender to Him in every conceivable way. And then you will see, you will be able to aspire to understand that Allah has given you all the means to succeed. You will know that because when you come out of the prayer, you will start to see. You will have openings first, halls that they illuminate you, moments of certainty, what we call hal. And if you continue and you hold on to it and you repeat the prayer, and this is the value of repetition, and another hal comes and another hal comes, until you decide to hold on onto this state and not to depart from it, to make that your new station. This is who you are. You're a person who understands. And you trust in Allah, and He is the most important thing to you. And if you hold on to it, and you transform it into a maqam, you transform the hals into a maqam. and you own that position, then you have achieved a big thing, bigger than anything that you can learn in this world. For knowledge of Allah is greater than all the other knowledges. And this is the best that we can expect out of this month of Ramadan, wisdom. For wisdom is the source of all knowledge. And that's what guides you, and this is what leads your life, and this is what illuminates your life, and that's what gives you a sense of meaning, that you are here for something, and the something is to worship Allah. And He is the generous. And so this is my reminder for you. Pray Ramadan with all your heart, and Allah will reward you. Fatiha. Bisirri wa barakati. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim. Ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamu alal mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum.